Okay, so Kal Kadosh, Masechet Taanit Daf Kavchet Amud Aleph 28a1, Masechet Taanit, right? Kavchet Amud Aleph. We're about to Parasha Gedolah. Right? What does that mean, Parasha Gedolah? Parasha Gedolah Korin Ota Bishnaim. Beshachrit Musav Mincha Korin Pehen. So we just said the Parasha Gedolah, we're going to read it, right? In two, right? And they're going to read it Bal Peh. What does it mean Bal Peh? By heart. Just like they read Kriyat Shema. Ibailahu. So they're going to ask the following question. Remember, this is tomorrow's daf, yeah? The question is, Hechi ka'amar b'shachrit u'musaf korinota b'sefer u'mincha korinota al peh kekorin Shema. Says, what does it mean that the kavanah that on shachrit and musaf we're going to read the parasha in the Sefer Torah b'sefer, and then on mincha they're going to read it al peh, just like they read Kriyat Shema. Or dilma, or maybe hachitani. This is what it means say. B'shachrit korinto b'sefer, u'mosav mincha korinto al peh kekorin Shema. Which means this: when it says now, is it going to be that in shachrit they're going to read it in the Sefer Torah, and mincha musaf and musaf mincha they're going to read it bal peh, just like they read the Kriyat Shema, or not? So now we're going to understand. Tashema, we're going to bring a proof to Taanis. We're going to write that b'shachrit u'musaf, on shachrit u'musaf nichnasin lebet hakneset vekorin kederech shekorin kol hashana. So on shachrit and musaf, they're going to go inside the Bet HaKnesset, and they're going to read it just like they read it the entire year. Uve mincha, and during mincha, yachid koreh al peh. The yachid is going to read it by himself. Amar Rabbi Yosef, says Rabbi Yosef, yachid yichol likrol divrei Torah al peh betzibur. A yachid can never read bal peh something in the tzibur. Ela kulam nichnasim vekorin ota al peh. But rather, everybody is going to go in and they're going to read it bal peh. Kekorin Shema, just like they're going to read the Kriyat Shema. So you see that they read bal peh only in mincha, not in any other time. Okay, so in mincha they read a bal peh, not in any other time. Okay, two dots. Kol yom sheyesh bo halel and ma'amad. So we already just mentioned every single day that they have halel, right? There's no ma'amad when there's no ma'amadot in shaharit. Okay, that's what we mentioned before previously. Mahefresh.
That's why.
Says the Gemara. Mahefresh ben zelazeh. What is the difference between ne'ilah and mincha? What is the difference between the ma'amad of mincha and the ma'amad of ne'ilah? Why is it that the korban etzim pushes off the ma'amad of ne'ilah but not of mincha? Okay, one more time. Korban etzim pushes off the ma'amad of mincha, but not the ma'amad of ne'ilah, but not of mincha. So says the Gemara, halalu midivrei Torah. Mincha is midivrei Torah. Valalu, right? Ne'ilah is midivrei sofrim. What does that mean? Since it says in the Torah, Vayetze Yitzchak lasuach baseder lifnot arev, and there it was referring to the mincha, so that it has the ikaron in the Torah. So therefore, that's like from the Torah. And the ne'ilah is not. Okay? Fine. The Gemara, Zman Hatzeh Kohanim ve'am was Tisha. There were 9 times that the Kohanim and the Am used to bring, right, different types of nidavot of etzim towards the Bet HaMikdash. Tanu Rabbanan, says the Braita. Lama utzechu lomar Zman Hatzeh Kohanim ve'am. Why does it say Zman Kohanim ve'am? What does this mean? Amru, they said, Keshalu b'nei Agola, when the Bnei Agola came up from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, lo matzu etzim balishka, there was no wood. Right? They needed wood. You need wood for firewood. So how do you find wood? Ve'amdu elu, so these families came, v'nadvu mishalahem, and they gave. So they gave from their own. Tekach yitnu neviim shebenehen, so then they went and they made a condition. Shafilu lishka melea etzim, even if it's going to be full of wood, you elu mitnadvim mishalahem. Right? They had to give the nidava from them. Shneimah says in the pasuk, והגורלות טיפלנו על קורבן העצים הכהנים הלוויים והעם להביא לבית אלוקינו לבית אבותינו לעתים מזומנים שנה בשנה לבאר על מזבח השם אלוקינו ככתוב בתורה. So it says the גורלות, they made גורלות on the קורבן העצים, the כהנים, the לוויים, to bring it to the בית המקדש every single year in order to have the מזבח full of wood. ועמהם כהנים לוויים וכל מי. So it says here also they had כהנים and לוויים and anybody else that made a mistake. So Tanu Rabbanan, we going to write that what is these two groups? Bnei Gonvei Eli and Bnei Kotzek Etziot. So Amru, they went and they said, Pam Achat, גזרו המלכות גזירה על ישראל שלא הביאו עצים למלאכה. It once happened that the Goyim, they made a decree, nobody's allowed to bring wood for the Azara. They can't bring wood, right? They cannot bring bikurim to Yerushalayim. What is bikurim? The first fruits. They cannot bring it to Yerushalayim. And what they did was that they placed shomrim, they placed mamash policemen on the paths. Just like Yerovam ben Nevat did. One second, just like Bnei Yisrael shouldn't go up to regel. What did they do? People wanted to bring, but now the goyim are saying you cannot bring. Not only they're saying you cannot bring, they have policemen. So how are you going to bring it? No. What is it? Right? What they did was that they brought their baskets full of fruits and they covered it with what? With dried figs. And then they took it to Yerushalayim. And they had an ali. Ali was that which they used to use to cut down. It was like a pounding machine. It was like a piece of wood that they used to pound in order to come and to cut down these figs. The kevanshi, you would suppose that. So once they got them, they told, where are you guys going? They used to tell them that. So we're making a gulet vela. The machtesh, we come and we're making like a fig a cake with this, with this pounding. So what happened? Right? Well, we have everything here. What happened? Once they passed through, they beautified the baskets and they brought it to Yerushalayim. So basically, this was the first time that you see Mavriach Tameches. Yeah? What does that mean, Mavriach Tameches? So Tana, we learned in the Braita, Hen Bene Salmai Anetofati. To do with this story, it's almost the same story as Salmai Anetofati, which we're going to see now. What does this mean? Tana, we learned in the Braita. Man Bene Salmai, what is this group now? It's an interesting group. No, the children of Salmai and Nutofati. Right, Al Israel. They once made a gezerah against Israel. Shelo yaviu etzim le'ma'aracha. Right, that they should not bring wood for the ma'aracha. Okay. Ve'oshivu prasdaot al drachim, and they put prasdaot on the paths. Kadesh Yerovam ben Nevat drachim shelo yilu Yisrael leregel, just like Yerovam ben Nevat did, in order that people should not go up to Aliyah leregel. Ma'asu yirechet shvato. What did the yirechet do in the Otodah? Haviu gizrehen ve'asu sulamot. They went and they made ladders. They took wood. They made ladders. And they put them on their shoulders. And they were going. Once they got there, I said, where are you guys going? Everyone's going, there's some people, they're coming with ladders. Where are you guys going? Right? They're bringing gozalot from the shovach that's in front of us. In olden days, they used to have the chicken coops. They used to climb up, they used to go up. Right? And when they used to go up, they used to climb up there, and then they used to take down the chickens. They needed a ladder to get up there. And with the sulamot, which are on their shoulders. Once they passed them, they destroyed the ladder. And they brought them to Yerushalayim, the wood. When we mentioned the tzaddik, that is called Zecher Tzaddik Livracha. Did you realize in every single story, when they were mentioning about the Shomrim, they brought Yerovam ben Nevat in the negative connotation. Just like Yerovam ben Nevat did to the Ole Regalim, that he put policemen stopping Bnei Israel do Aliyah Regel. Because remember, who were the ones that were allowed to go to the Bet HaMikdash? Shlomo Melech and Malchut Bet David. Yerovam ben Nevat was Malchut Israel. They weren't able to sit in Bet HaMikdash. So because of that, he went and he didn't want them to do Aliyah Regel. If they do Aliyah Regel, who's the real king? Of Shlomo Melech and Malchut Bet David, not me. I'm the king. I'm Yerovam ben Nevat. So what did he do? Even though he was the king of the other 10 tribes, he went and he stopped them. He put mamash policemen. I'm not letting them do aliyah l'regel. So what does it say here? On him it's written, Shem Rishayim Yitkav. The name of the Rishayim should rot. Yeah, that's what he says. However, though, on the other ones that they do good things, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha. The remembrance of the Tzaddik should be always for a bracha. Okay? On the 20th of Av, Moab ben Yehuda, he brought wood for the maracha. Tana, we learned Moab ben Yehuda, Hen David ben Yehuda. These are the children of David HaMelech from Shevet Yehuda, right? Because he was called Pachat, which is a moshel, okay? Because he came from Ruth HaMoaviyah, right? Remember, David HaMelech came from Ruth HaMoaviyah. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. That's why it was called Pachat Moav, okay? However, though Rabbi Yosef says Henem b'ni Yoav ben Tzeruya. These are the children of Yoav, the son of Tzeruiah. Now remember, he also came from Ruta Movia, because remember, Yoav ben Tzeruiah, right? Tzeruiah was a sister of David Melech. Yoav ben Tzeruiah was his nephew. Okay, so they also came from, right? Which one?
Is it Balanes?
No, that's Rabbi Meir Balanes. This is Rabbi before. The Rabbi Meir Balanes, yes. Okay, and this is Rabbi Yosef. Okay, Be'esrim Belul, on the 20th of Elul, was Bnei Adin ben Yehuda. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned on the right. Bnei Adin ben Yehuda, Henem Bnei David ben Yehuda. When it says Bnei Adin, it's the children of David Melech, right? What they were called Adino Haotzni. These are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Here it says in Moed Katan, it says it was a kinui for David Melech, because when he was learning Torah, he used to make himself like a worm, which means he used to bend himself, his hands and his feet together, and he used to sit on the floor. And that's why he was called Adino. When he used to come out to war, he used to be like a strong piece of wood that nothing was able to move him. So that's why he was called Bnei Adin ben Yehuda. These are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yosef Omer, Henen Bnei Yoav ben Tzeruiah. Again, it comes from Yoav ben Tzeruiah. And again, right? Tzeruiah, 100%. Okay? Fine. Next, 2 dots. Be'echa b'tevet. Which one?
Kinui.
B'tevet. When we say Be'echa b'tevet, Shavu b'nei Farosh. Pam Shniya. So basically, it was the only time that it was a dish. It was twice. Right? Who was it? Right? It was on the 1st of Tevet, which is also Chanukah, remember? Right? And it's also Rosh Chodesh. So it says over here, they brought the team the second time around. Mani Matnitin, who's our Mishnah? It's not Rabbi Meir, it's not Rabbi Yehuda, and it's not Rabbi Yosef. Why? Let's explain. Either Rabbi Meir, if it's going to be Rabbi Meir, Litni Shavu b'nei David ben Yehuda. Why don't you say the same name, which was b'nei David ben Yehuda, which was b'nei Pachat, according to him, right? That he should bring it the second time around. If it was going to be Rabbi Yehuda, they should learn Shavu b'nei David ben Yehuda, which because he says that it was b'nei Adin ben Yehuda the second time around. And if it was Rabbi Yosef, it was Shavu b'nei Yoav ben Tzeruiah Shniya. It was b'nei Yoav ben Tzeruiah that did it a second time around. So therefore, since it was written in the Mishnah, Shebnei Parosh, they brought it the second time around. So therefore, obviously, it's not like any one of these 3 opinions. There were 3 opinions. It's not like one of any of these 3. So says the Gemara, no, Leolam Rabbi Yosef. It is like the second opinion of Rabbi Yosef. Utre Tanaya Liba de Rabbi Yosef. Many times you have 2 Tanaim that they argue what is the Shita of Rabbi Yosef, which means many times it happens that you have 2 people that are arguing, what did the rabbi say? You had Rabbi Yosef that he said something. You had 2 people that were arguing in the Shita of Rabbi Yosef. What did he say? Did he say A? Did he say B? So you have 2 Tanim Aliba de Rabbi Yosef, and that's why there's going to be the machloka between. Next, Be'echa b'tevet, on the 1st of Tevet. Lo haya bo ma'amadot, so we said there was no ma'amad at all. Why? On Be'echa b'tevet there was Halel. Why was there Halel? Because of Chanukah or because of Rosh Chodesh. Right? So because of Chanukah or Rosh Chodesh you had Halel. There's no ma'amadot in Shachrit. And you had
Always is going to be Chanukah.
Which one? Yeah. Because of Halel, because of Chanukah, because of Rosh Chodesh, that's why you're going to have no ma'amadot and shachrit. Next, you had the korban. You had korban musaf. Once you have the korban musaf, you don't have ma'amadot and musaf. Then you had the korban etzim also. Since you had the korban etzim, they wouldn't do it also, right? So that means basically you didn't have ma'amadot the entire day. Okay, so that's what it says over here. So it says Amar lemor kashisha bered Rav Chasta Rav Ashi. Says Mor Kashisha, the son of Rav Chasta, to Rav Ashi. Okay, Kafchet Amubet, 28b. Maishna Halel de Dachidide, Umaishna Musaf de Lo Dachidide. What is the difference between Halel, which is said at the end of Shachrit, that it pushes off the Shachrit? So Halel at the end of the Shachrit pushes off Shachrit. Remember, Halel is still part of Shachrit. How do we know Halel is still part of Shachrit? How do we know Halel is still part of Shachrit? He said it. He hit it on the. No?
I didn't hear it.
You say before Kaddish Kabbalah. Immediately right after the Amidah, before doing anything, you say the Halel. The Halel is still part of the Shachrit. When you finish the Halel, that's when you say Kaddish Kabbalah. That's when you finish the Tefillat Shachrit. That's why on Chanukah, that there's no Korban, there's no Musaf. So therefore, you don't say Kaddish Kabbalah after the Halel, because it's all a continuation, right? Because it's still part of Shachrit. There's only Shachrit, there's no Musaf. So therefore, it's all continuous. You don't do Chetzi Kaddish. You don't do Kaddish Kabbalah. But usually the Halel is always part of the Shachrit. Okay, so therefore the question is like this: Maishena Halel. What's the difference between Halel, that it's at the end of the Shachrit and it pushes off the Ma'amad of Shachrit, Umaishna Musaf, and what's the difference between Musaf, which is Korban Musaf, that it doesn't push off the Musaf? was we said in the Mishnah that every single day that you have Korban Musaf, there's no Mincha Ma'amad, but there is Musaf Ma'amad, right? So why is it? Why is it that it's mashma that there's no Mincha Ma'amad? So Amar le Ravashi comes and he answers, Hashta delav dide dache, dide lo kol sheken. 1 second. If the Mishnah just told you that the Korban Musaf is going to be doche, something which is not its own, which is basically the mincha is not its own, there's Musaf. Dide lo kol sheken, so obviously it should push off the Musaf. If it should push off mincha, kal v'chomer it should push off Musaf. So Amalei, he says, no. Hachi kamin elecha. This is what I meant to say. Lo lidche ella ledide. It should only push off Musaf, meaning Halel pushes off Shachrit, right? The ma'amad of Shachrit. The Korban Musaf pushes off Mincha, the ma'amad of Mincha. Why doesn't it push off the ma'amad of Musaf as well? Musaf and Mincha. That's what we're asking. So the Gemara answers, Amalei, Ikar Rabbi Yosef de Kai Kavatach. There's a shita of Rabbi Yosef that goes like you. The Taanis we learned in the Braita, Rabbi Yosef says, Kol sheyesh bo Musaf, yesh bo ma'amad. Right? If you do have Musaf, you do have a ma'amad, which is not like the Tanakama, right? So therefore, what he's saying is that on the day that you do Musaf, there's no ma'amad in the ilah, but Kol sheken, that there's no ma'amad in Mincha Musaf. So ma'amad demai, which ma'amad are we referring to? If you're going to tell me ma'amad de Shachrit, the Tanakama already told you that there's not going to be a ma'amad de Shachrit. Ela, obviously, we're talking about ma'amad de Musaf. So he says, Dide lo dache. But he said, I thought we said that we just doesn't push off Musaf. Ela de Mincha. So Korban Etzim dache, but we already have the Korban Etzim which is going to push off. Remember, the Korban Etzim pushes off the ma'amad of Mincha, but not of Nilah. So if it's already going to push off, so what's going on over here? So he comes and he says, Ela lav de Nilah. Obviously, it's not pushing off the Mincha, pushing off Nilah. Right? Why did we say that it pushes off Nilah, not Mincha? That's how we started today. Why does it push off? Very good. Rabbanan and Doraita. Right? Very good. So elalav the Nilah. So obviously we're talking about Nilah. Shemamina the dachi dide dachi. It's going to push off that one of itself. The lav dide lo dachi. It's not going to push off anything else. Shemamina. That's what we learn. So we learn from here that a korban musaf is not going to push off only its own ma'amad, but it's not going to push off the ma'amad of mincha nilah. It's only going to push off the ma'amad of musaf. So Halel pushes off Shachrit, Korban Musaf pushes off Musaf, the Ma'amad of Musaf. So says the Gemara, Velitne nami becha benisan lo yabo ma'amad. Also, what about becha benisan? What's becha benisan? Rosh Chodesh. What do you have? So you have Halel, you have Musaf, so and you have Korban Etzim. So you also have all three. Why do we only get Rosh Chodesh Tevet? Yeah, why do we only take Rosh Chodesh Tevet? That's what it says here. Velitne nami becha benisan lo yabo ma'amad. By the way, you should know what just happened this past Shabbat. Yeah. So it says the Gemara, on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Lo yabo mama, because you have Halel, you have Korban Musaf, you have Korban Etzim. Amar Rava, says Rava, Zotomeret, you see from here, Halela deverei shiar chalav doraita. He says Halel, which is said on Rosh Chodesh, is not doraita. It's only a minhag. And that's why it's not going to be pushing off ma'amad. Yeah? The Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi, it says Rabbi Yochanan name of Rabbi Shimon ben Yotzada. 18 yom b'shana Yachid gomer b'enet Halel. There's 18 times in a year where Yachid finishes the Halel. Ve'elu hen. This is a good trivia question. When do you finish off Halel? Right? So when do you do it? Shmonat yimei Chag. 8 days of Sukkot.
17 and 21 in Chutzah.
Yeah, Ushmonat Yemei Chanukah, 8 days of Chanukah. So it's already 16. Yom Tov Rishon Shel Pesach, Yom Tov Shel Atzeret. Right, you have the first day of Pesach, first day of Atzeret. Uvagola, and in the diaspora. So that's how you got already the 20. That's how you got the 18 days. 18. 18 plus 2. No. 18. In Eretz Yisrael, it's 18. 8 of Sukkot, 8 of Chanukah is 16, Pesach Shavuot, that's 18. Okay? Now, in the Chutz Haaretz, you got 21. How do you have 21? Because it's 9 days of Sukkot, because you have Shemini Atzeret. So it's 9 days of Sukkot, 8 days of Chanukah, the 2 first days of Pesach, 2 first days of Atzeret. So you have 21. Okay? So that's also very important to remember. When do you have full Halel? In Chutz Haaretz, when do you have full Halel? Right? Another trick question. When is the only time that you say full Halel on Rosh Chodesh? That's the only one. Okay? Fine. So Rav right? I remember somebody once asked me. They said, "Rabbi, I don't understand." Right? I was reading in the middle of Al Nisim on Rosh Chodesh of Musaf, right? And over there, it doesn't give you the option of Mimei Mordechai V'Ester. It only gives you the option of Chanukah. Understand? Meaning always in the Sidur, what do you have? You have Al Nisim, you have Mimei Matatiah, Mimei Mordechai V'Ester. But when you have a Musaf of Rosh Chodesh, you only have a Mimei Matatiah. Why? What's the answer?
There's no halal in Purim.
Very good. Not because of that. Even if there would have been Korban Musaf, even if there would have been a Musaf on Purim. Purim is never on Rosh Chodesh. That's why. You're right also, but you didn't have to go there even. Even if it would have been. Even if there would have been Musaf. Yeah? Yeah? So that's why. So fine, next. Rav Ikla le Bavel. Rav went to Bavel. Chazinu de Kakaro Alela Beresh Shalcha. He saw that they were reading Alel on Rosh Chodesh. Saval Afsekinu. He wanted to stop them. Kevin the Chazal the comment, but once he saw that they were being medaleg. That's what we do also. We medaleg Alel. We don't do full Alel. So Mina Amash Mamina, we learned from here Minhag about Tamid and that was a Minhag. They do the Minhag, that's it. They do it. They do the Ma'alel, but they skip out. Tana, what? What? Yeah, it's Drabanan.
It's not the Oraita, that's why we're cutting it.
And that's why they're medaleg.
Without the bracha.
Yes. Okay, no, we do it with the bracha. Some people do it without the bracha. Okay, Tana, we learned it right. Yachid lo yatchil. Mitchil gomer. A yachid should not start to say the Alel on Rosh Chodesh, even if the minhag of the tzibur is to do it. But if he did start, he could finish it off. So obviously, all these things has to do with the minhag. Whatever the minhag is, you do the minhag. Okay, fine. Next.
When it's the Rabbanan, it's okay to finish.
There were 5 things that happened to our forefathers on Shiva B'Tammuz. Number 1, nishtabru aluchot. The luchot were broken. Menala, and how do we know? The Tanya was going to the right. We know that the 10 commandments were given to the Jews on the 6th of Sivan, right? Yom HaShishi, the 6th of Sivan. Rabbi Yosef Omer was given on the 7th of Sivan, the Shivabo. Mandamar Mishishani Tnu, according to the Mandamar, that it was given on the 6th. Shishani Tnu Shiva ala Moshe, the 6th was given, and Moshe Rabbeinu went up on the 7th. According to the Mandamar, that it was given on the 7th. On the 7th, it was given, and on the 7th, he went up. But according to everybody, right, Moses went up to the mountain on the 7th. According to everybody, doesn't matter when it was given actual luchot. According to everybody, Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the mountain, the Har Sinai, on the 7th. Dichtiva Yikra Moshe b'Yom HaShvi. Uchtiv, it's written in Furash in the pasuk. It was the 7th day. Uchtiv, it's written. And he went up for 40 days and 40 nights. So therefore, it's muskam ala kol. The Moshe Rabbeinu came down from the mountain on the 17th of Tammuz. So therefore, since he was on the mountain for 40 days, so it comes up, right, that it was on the 7th of Sivan. Okay, so therefore he says, that's how we know that Shiva Asar B'Tammuz is the 40 days after 7th Sivan. So now it makes sense why it was broken, the Luchot, on the 17th of Sivan, Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Esrim ve'arba'a de Sivan, right? Why? Because you have 24 days of Sivan, right? Because from 7 until 30, right? Remember, Sivan is maleh. Sivan is full, right? 30 days. So if you have from 7 days till 30, it's 24 days. The Shitzar de Tammuz, 16 days of Tammuz until you get to the 17th, right? So Malu lehu arba'in. So that's how you're going to get 40, because you have 16 and 24. It's 40 days. No, 40 days. 7 and 24, right?
That's 31.
Right. No. But it was on the 7th. You needed another. What did I tell you? You needed
30 minus 7.
You needed 24 days to get to the Yom Shloshim. Yeah, to get to the Yom Shloshim.
We had 30 days. 4 months.
Yes.
Minus 7. That's 23, not 24.
No, but you have to count from 7 onwards, 40 days. So you do 7, 8, 9, 10, go until 30, you get 24 days. Then you do from the beginning until 16, it's going to be another 16 days, right? Aleph to 16. 16 and 24 is 40. So now it comes on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, and that's when he came down from the mountain. That's when he broke the Luchot. Okay? Esim v'arba de Sivan v'shitzar de Tammuz malu lehu arba'in. V'shivsar b'Tammuz on the right v'shivsar b'Tammuz, which is Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Nachit ata, right? He came down. And v'tavlin luchot, he broke the luchot. He saw the egel, and he threw from his hands the luchot. He broke them underneath the mountain. Okay, so that was the first thing, right? Which was what? The luchot. Number 2. Now, batal tamid. The
So
tamid.
rounding up,
No,
Jerusalem.
beforehand. Batala tamid. What is batala tamid? They stop the korban tamid. Says the Gemara. What's Gemara? אתה לומד עכשיו. No? מה זה Gemara? Masoret. Whenever the Gemara says Gemara means it's a masoret that they had, a tradition that they had, that this is when it stopped. So they had a tradition. It's true. It's not written anywhere in the Torah or in the Gemara, but they had a tradition. When did the tamid stop? They stopped bringing the korban tamid, right? On this time, on Shiva Sabbath Tammuz. Number 3. No. A masoret. Masoret means a tradition. They have a tradition from your rabbi, going up. That's called a tradition. So the Gemara. Okay? Next, the siege on the city. Not the siege on the city. The siege of the city was a Sarah B'Tevet. Or the city was broken, was breached. So it says over here, B'Shivasar Hava. Right? You're going to tell me it's on the Shivasar? He says, V'aktiv, it's written, B'chodesh HaRevi'i B'tisha L'chodesh V'chazak Rav Ba'id. Tiba Teva Tiba Ka'id. So it's mashma over here that it was in Tammuz, B'tisha L'chodesh, on the 9th of the month. Not on the 17th of the month, on the 9th. Because it says, B'chodesh HaRevi'i. What is Chodesh HaRevi'i? Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz. So it is Tammuz. But it says, B'tisha L'chodesh, on the 9th of the month. It was breached. So Rava says, Lakashasana question. Kam Barishona, Kam Bashniya. On the first Bet HaMikdash, it was the 9th. The first Bet HaMikdash, the 9th of Tammuz, was when they breached the city. On the second Bet HaMikdash, it was the 17th. The Taanis will enter right to Barishona, Uvka, B'tisha B'Tammuz, Bashniya, B'Shivasar Bo. Number 3, Sarafa Posemos et Torah. So Posemos came and he burnt the Torah. Gemara also, it's a Kabbalah. We have a Kabbalah, we have Masoret in our hands. This is what happened. Number 4, right? Sorry, this is now the 5th one, because we already did the first one was the Egel, Tamid, Uvka Ir, Posemos et Torah, and now Hemid Tzelem Ba'echal, the 5th one. Hemid Tzelem Ba'echal, Menalan, how do we know that they put a Tzelem in the Echal? Says in the Pasuk, Metusar Tamid Le'et Shikut Shemem. Once the Tamid was annulled, that's when they put the shekets. They put this abomination into the Torah, into the Echal. So the abomination was this Tzelem. Okay? On Batala Tamid. When was Batala Tamid? Shiva Sabbath Tammuz. That was already Gemara. The Chad Hava. So says the Gemara, it was the same day. Sorry, not was it the only one Tzelem? It's written about Knaf Shikutzim Mishomem. There was tons of Slamim. But it wasn't only just one. It had to be minimum 2. So Rava says you're right. There was actually 2 Slamim. Right? One Tzelem fell on his friend and it broke its hand. It means basically he had 2 idols. One idol fell and broke the other idol's hand. And they found that it was written on the Tzelem, which was Shalem, right? Kaftet Amud Aleph, An Savit Lecharuve Beta, right? Which means you wanted to destroy the house of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And therefore, Yadach Hashlimat Leh. I paid back your hand and I cut off your hand. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they found that on the one which was, they found that I cut off your hand because you wanted to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu was like exacting retribution against this Tzelem, and that's what he did. Bezrat Hashem, tomorrow we continue with Daf Kaftet Amud Aleph.